Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. This is the student panel session. So if this is your first session of the day for orientation, we want to say welcome and thank you all for being with us. If you've been on some earlier sessions, thank you for sticking with us, and we hope you stay throughout the day with your virtual orientation. Once again, my name is Drew Fry. I work in the orientation office. So if you have any orientation questions, maybe you missed your advisement appointment, maybe you're not sure what to do next, have any questions regarding orientation or just some enrollment steps, just feel free to let me know. With the earlier sessions that you've been on, if you have been on them, they're very much presentation based, and then they leave a little bit of time to answer some questions. This is kind of the opposite of that. This is pretty much question based, so you guys kind of run the show. We have a few of our current students on the call today that are here to answer some of your questions, so you can get a student's perspective on things about campus. So, if you need study tips or, recommended places to eat, things like that, or just like student life questions, that's what they're here to help with. It's totally though run on your questions. So you just drop your questions in the chat section. And then if you want to save that chat, because we post some helpful links, it's really easy to do so. Once the chat's open, you just click those three dots and then you click save chat, and it'll take care of that. But yeah, it's really dependent on you guys. So if we don't get any questions, maybe they'll do the fight song for about 45 minutes. But as much as I love doing the fight song, I don't think anyone wants to sit here and do that the whole time. So we really want y'all to interact with us, ask us some questions. We definitely want to hear from you. We can start while they go around and introduce themselves. If everyone wants to drop in here where they're from, let us know. We know we are a Tennessee school, so we know people from all over Tennessee and outside of it come to us. So we love to hear from that. And, so first one, Nashville. Of course, that leads right into what I was going to add. If you say Nashville, though, you better be from Nashville, because if it's Mount Juliet, Hendersonville, Goodlettsville, Brentwood, Franklin, you got to get specific. Don't lump up. Same way with the people that post Memphis in here. You could be Collierville, Arlington. We know there's a lot of areas in there, so feel free to drop exactly where you're from. Look, there it is, Mount Juliet. All right. So, guys, please feel free to drop where you're from and go ahead and start firing away with some questions. I'm going to turn it over to our students that we have on the call with us so they can introduce themselves, and then we'll get jumping in with hopefully some questions. So, Jenna, go ahead and start us off.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. We're happy you guys are here. My name is Jenna Yates. I'm from Franklin, Tennessee, and I'm a senior studying communications and Spanish. And I'm really excited that you guys are on this call with us, so please ask any questions you have.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Elena Moneri. I am from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm an upcoming senior studying communications with a minor in Spanish, just like Jenna. And like she said, we're here to answer any questions y'all have, so just drop them in the chat. We're super thankful y'all are here today.
Hey guys, my name is Tyree. I'm from Fayetteville, Tennessee. I'll be a senior as well, studying HR with a minor in psychology. And like they said, we're super excited you guys are here today. So any questions y'all have, we're going to answer to the best of our ability.
All right, so haven't got any questions yet, but I do appreciate you guys sharing where you're from in there. Oh, and looks like we do have some questions, or at least one question. So I'm going to turn it over to Jenna, let her moderate the session. I'm going to slip into the background, but I am still here. If you guys have questions specifically about your advisement appointment or things like that, feel free to just message me. All you have to do is just click on my name, or as I post something in the chat, you can always just click on my name and it will pull up a private message. So if you need to do that, feel free to do so. But otherwise, I will leave it in the capable hands of our staff here. So Jenna, go ahead and take it away.
Alrighty, so the first question is do you know how Rush is going to work? So specifically for the Panalytic side of it, it's going to be all on Zoom and online, which that is a little scary and very, very different than what anybody's ever done before. But you can definitely check out the website and get more information. And the recruitment counselors or the PICAs will be reaching out to people who are signed up for it soon to kind of help you guys through this process. And Elena, do you have anything else to add about that?
Yeah, so I just dropped the Greek Life page down below in the chat, but basically on that website you can see all details about the chapters, how to join, stuff like that, because we do have a few different councils. For Panhellenic, I know that they are doing recruitment, I believe, the first week of school, and so there's going to be more information on the website, but I think a lot of it is on Zoom, and then as you work your way like through the rounds and the groups get smaller, they might have some in person. And then I know that for boy fraternities, I believe that they are doing recruitment 365, I think, so they are giving out bids throughout the year. I'm not really sure about the special interest groups. Alan may have more details on that just because he is in a special interest group.
Yeah, so I know with like BYX, how we're going to be doing it is we're going to wait just a little bit, and then we're going to really have to push more online as well. I know like it's going to definitely look a lot different this year, just for the simple fact that we are going to have like a lot of different procedures and rules we are going to have to follow. So yeah, it's definitely going to be kind of more online based, I think, when recruitment does come around for us as well. So yeah, but it'll still be super exciting. So.
And something to point out for Greek life in general, there is something called a special interest community, which that is what Alan is a part of. And so there is so many different kinds. There's religious ones, so service-based organizations. So if the typical kind of Greek life isn't for you, you can definitely find other communities and organizations to be a part of. And Greek life also isn't a huge part of our school. There's so many different organizations you guys can join. So if Greek life doesn't seem like it's for you, please just look into what is for you and find that out, because the best way to get connected is to find those clubs and meet your people, meet your friends, and just get out there and get involved. And if you guys have any other questions about more specific clubs or anything, please ask us. We're all pretty involved around campus, so we're here for you guys. Just let us know. So the next question is from Hannah, and it says, what are some school supplies you recommend? So this is something that I learned quickly, that I'm a very over-prepared person. And so I bought so many things that I just did not need, like packs on packs of highlighters, just binders, everything. And quickly I realized that you just need like a couple notebooks and some pencils and a good backpack and just the necessities, at least for the first week or so. And then once you kind of get your bearings and understand your classes, you'll see what each class needs. And so going from that, you'll be able to be a little bit more prepared. But while you move, don't overpack for sure. Just bring what you absolutely need to get started in the first couple weeks. And then you'll figure out like books, and if you need more paper for one class, if you need certain supplies, you'll be able to do that.
So bouncing off what Jenna said, she's totally right. Don't overpack, just because I'm like her, where I was very over prepared and would come to school with like a huge backpack. And you already have, for me, I was taking a lot of sciences, and so I had those huge textbooks that I had to take to class every day, and they were so heavy. So I don't recommend that. But something that I like to engrave in new students' brains is a planner. This has saved my life, and I actually work a lot, so I have a special work planner and a special school planner. But like that first week of school, get those pull out those syllabi and plug in all those dates for exams and homework and assignments. That way you can look ahead, especially if everything's going to be online. It might be a little confusing, so I definitely recommend getting a planner.
Just to go off what Elena said, definitely a planner would be the biggest thing for me as well, just because especially with us doing all online classes, or majority of them that is going to be online, definitely a planner is going to be your best friend coming in, just because it can get kind of hectic sometimes. There can be a lot going on. So if you just have it wrote down in front of you, it's always going to be a good little reminder. So yeah, I would definitely agree with that one.
For sure. And also, one thing that I do add is when you go through your classes, you're going to figure out how you study best and how you are going to succeed, because it may look a little different than how you did in high school. And so maybe in high school you highlighted everything and used flashcards and everything, but then in college you kind of realize, okay, I study best this way. This class requires this kind of study tips, you know? So as you kind of go through your classes, you'll figure out the best way for all of that. And also, Hannah, you had a question at the bottom that I'm just going to throw in, and it asks, do professors allow you to record lectures? And I think every professor is different, but they all want you to succeed. And so if recording is the best way for you to kind of remember what they say in case you miss anything, at the beginning of the class, just be like, hey, are you all right if I record this? They will 9 times out of 10 say yes. And they may even record it themselves. So just at the beginning of school, talk to your professors and just be like, hey, is this cool? And they'll love to help you. And also, just plug in this, have relationships with your professors, because that is the best way to succeed in case you need any help, or if you miss a class, they'll be more willing to help you out with that. So,
Can I interrupt real quick? Sorry. So going off Hannah's question about recording lectures, just a little loophole to that. I actually have a disability that affects my memory, and even if you don't have a disability, if that's something that's going to affect or help you succeed in your classes, you can go to the Disability Resource Center and they can actually give you a slip or a piece of paper, and they can provide, if it's an in-person class, like a little recorder that you can plug into your laptop and import it into your laptop after. But that way the professor knows that you need to record the class. So if the professor is uncomfortable with it or something, the Disability Resource Center is a great resource to go to whenever you need any of that extra help, and the professors know that they need to work with those students.
so going to the next question, it's about what's the best meal plan to get. So I'm trying to remember which one I had. Do either of you guys remember what you guys had freshman year? No, that's okay.
I think I had the 500 something, but it had swipes and it had it had you could use it at Crossroads and you could use it in the dining hall. And for me that was the best bet, because if I was like needing a full-on meal buffet and I was starving, I could go to Crossroads if I had time and just get whatever I wanted to eat. But if I was like in a rush, I could run by the bucket and just grab something to take to class.
Yeah, I think I had the 5 access pass. I think that's maybe what it was called. And I was the same way. Like you get like full access, I think like Monday through Friday or it's set days. And then on the weekends, like you'll also have like so many Mocs bucks that you can like go and spend at the different restaurants here on campus. So I'm like Elena, I'm definitely the same way. I like having both options just because like sometimes, you know, you might want some Chick-fil-A and sometimes you might just want to go chill in the cafeteria area. So it's really all just up to you though. That's the cool thing. Every meal plan is different, so it just kind of depends on like if you're the type of person that can smash like 2,000 calories in one sitting, you may get the 7 day pass, and then if you're like me and you love Chick-fil-A, you may want to get like the Block 160. So it's all up to you.
So, and also Crossroads is delicious. I know some of you guys may hear, you know, just that they may not have the best food, whatever, all that. It's actually really good. And so once you get to campus, figure out what you like best, because there's so many different options. There's like a pasta bar, hibachi, burgers, like a soul kitchen food. It's delicious. There's so many options. So don't let anybody else tell you how you should feel about Crossroads, because I love it. I wish I had a meal plan, but I don't. So y'all just, and also the UC is delicious because there's Chick-fil-A, Panda, Moe's, I'm trying to think which, and it's delicious, and you'll be surprised with how often you're there, because I stress eat. And so whenever I had a test, I go to Chick-fil-A and I treat myself, you know, it always happens. So going to the next question, McCarty said, lived in a lot of places. How sensitive is the community? So I'm not 100% sure what you're meaning by how sensitive the community is, if I'm being honest. So if you want to be more specific, we would love that. But I will say that I have felt very safe and known on this community. From day one, I came in and I was very nervous and I didn't know a lot of people. But going through just orientation and then trying to get involved, meeting people in my classes, I quickly felt like I was more than just a number. And my professors, they really helped me a lot. I met faculty beyond just the professors. I met other students like Elena and Alan, who become such good friends of mine. And so I feel very, just secure. And it's helped me grow into a more confident person. And I see that you said, how honest can you be? Are people afraid to have I mean, I am saying it as it is, how my experience has been. I've never felt questioned. I've always felt confident in who I am. But I'll let Alan and Elena kind of speak on their experience.
Okay, so I would say for me, like part of the reason why I've stayed at Chattanooga and loved UTC has been just the environment on campus and in the community as a whole. Everybody here, and I can say this like 100%, is here to see you succeed when it comes to campus environment. So the faculty and staff, if you need anything, you can go into their office. You can tell it how it is. Like if you need help, there's a lot of different offices that are there to act as resources to help you. And so the campus is just there for you 100%, and they want to know what they need to fix and that sort of thing. So I would not be afraid to ask for help, to give feedback, any of that, because this campus is very resilient and wants to get that feedback and wants to make students succeed.
Yeah, I know for me, I'm from a super small town. Whenever I said I'm from Fayetteville, Tennessee, most of y'all probably don't know where that is. So I know whenever I came to Chattanooga, Chattanooga was really big to me. I was super nervous whenever I was coming, like, am I going to fit in? Am I going to succeed here? I can tell you, since my freshman year, I have loved UTC. Everybody here, from the professors to the people on campus to the workers, I mean, just every aspect of it, they're so welcoming, and it's like unconditional. Like Elena said, I want to see you succeed in like every aspect. And being, up front part, honesty is going to be the best policy. So if, you ever have an issue with anything, just go in, be 100%, upright about it. I know that's what I've done since my freshman year. So yeah, you definitely can be all the way yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. That's another thing. And then the involvement aspect, there's just so many different things you can be involved in here. You will definitely find your community. You just have to be willing to step out a little bit, because when you're uncomfortable, a lot of growth comes from that. So just definitely don't be afraid to be yourself and just look for that involvement, and you'll definitely find your community here. So
I hope that helped a little bit. But if you have any questions and if you want to talk to any of us one-on-one, we would love to talk with you and be here for you guys, because that's what we're here for. We have been in your shoes and we want to help you guys in any way today and going forward. So if you guys see us on campus, just feel free to say hi. And if you're struggling or if you need a hand, just let one of us know, and we're always there for y'all. So the next question is there a curfew? So I do believe each of the housing does have a curfew, but I will let Mr. Allen take this one away, because he is one of our tour guides.
yeah, so every housing complex is going to be different. Normally, quiet hours are going to be 10. Like if you're in West Campus, which a lot of freshmen will be in West Campus, it's going to be 10 o'clock. That's going to be quiet hours. Now, is there like a curfew that you have to like be completely in your room? There's not a curfew for UTC, but again, with it being quiet hours, that doesn't mean, you can come in at like 2 o'clock in the morning being loud, running through the hallways. Just be smart. But yeah, there's not exactly a curfew here at UTC. But with that being said, just be responsible and be smart.
So the next question is, what time do y'all go to sleep with all the schoolwork? So, my freshman year, it took me a while to get into a routine. And I love my sleep, and I will go to bed as early as I can, sleep till as late as I can. I'm usually late everywhere. So we're working on that still. But just coming into school, it was difficult for me to get a routine just because it's such a new chapter of your life and there's so many unexpected things happening and you don't really know what to expect. And so, but sleep is key. Like, I love sleep and it just does nothing but good things for you. So whenever you come in, just don't be afraid to take that time for yourself and be like, hey, like, I have to sleep tonight, I have a big test tomorrow. I could stay up all night studying, but is that really going to help? Maybe a little bit, but you just got to get a good routine down. And once you do, it'll just help you out a lot. So do y'all have any tips for that?
Okay, so freshman year sleep is definitely key, like Jenna said, but it's going to be really hard to see how you're going to balance it because it is such a new change. Everything is new. So just be patient with yourself because for me, my freshman year, I was doing what I probably shouldn't have been doing and pulling all-nighters all the time, studying for biology and chemistry tests, and what ended up deeply regretting it because they say you need sleep as much as you can before tests, and that's 100% true. I wouldn't recommend pulling all-nighters unless you absolutely have to, but it's not going to really help you study too much. So now as a senior, I'm going to bed around 11:30 every night, and I'm pretty on schedule with that. Definitely try to get like that as a freshman, get 7 to 8 hours if you can. It's definitely going to be hard. Like, college is hard and you're pulled in so many different directions and you're studying a lot. So be patient with yourself, but you'll definitely be able to adapt and get accustomed and see what works for you.
Yeah, I know everybody's is going to be different. For me, I also was pulling all-nighters. It did not work for me. I tried it for about a year. Every now and then I'll pull one out, but I definitely would say with that, it's time management. That's going to be like your best friend your freshman year. Once you learn how to manage time, everything else just tends to fall into place. But yeah, you have to be, it is such a new change, and like coming to college, everything is going to be new. Everything is going to be like, you having to be not hard on yourself. You just have to adapt and just do it with the best that you can. But yeah, definitely find your sleeping pattern, find your sleeping habits. It's not okay, if you're the person in the friend group that everyone is calling the grandpa because you go to bed at 8 o'clock, you know what? That's okay. Be the grandpa, but be the best grandpa there is. So
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I've been called grandma so many times because I'm like, I gotta go. Goodbye, good night. But hey, sleep is the best. So the next question is, what are some ideas on how to eat healthy while living on campus? So that's actually a really good question because I know, like, I struggled with that a lot because it was just hard I had a little tiny mini fridge, and so I had some like fruit in there, and then I would just go to Crossroads and just eat. But my best tip for that would probably just get a water bottle, always drink your water. And then in Crossroads, there's a salad bar and there are healthier options for you. So it's not absolutely impossible. It's just you being mindful of kind of what you're eating and when and how much. So during the first couple months, just kind of feel it out and see what you like the best, and you'll be able to kind of work with that and have a healthy eating schedule. And then I just kept fruit in my dorm room, and that's what helped me. So then whenever you're having those late night snacking craves, I just munch on some fruit.
Yeah, like Jenna said, like you're gonna be on the go, so it's gonna be difficult and it can be hard. I definitely think something to consider is if you are living in one of those dorms with a stove and a big fridge or something like that, if you're gonna cook more, that would be like cooking is definitely healthier than eating out all the time. But that might depend. That might make you get a smaller meal plan, something like that. Just maybe think about that. If you do have one of those kitchens and you're planning on cooking a lot, sometimes you don't need that meal plan. That's going to be like the most expensive. But for me, what I always did I would go to Crossroads and get a salad and then add meat, like they're from the burger bar or chicken and stuff, and I would put it in my salad without getting like the bun and the patty. And then I think this year they're actually adding like a smoothie bar. But the pod, sorry, I'm blanking on my words today. But the pod market definitely has like protein bars and stuff like that. So that's a great in and out, real quick place to go.
Yeah, for me, definitely Crossroads was my best friend my freshman year, just like kind of getting into that habit. But also, there are healthy options as well at some of the restaurants on campus. Like we have a Subway, which is really good. We have a Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A offers a lot of healthy options. And then there is more coming on campus as well, so that's a super good thing. And then, like they said, if you have a kitchen in your living area, living space, like if you're in West and you share it, meal prepping is not a bad idea as well. There's so many different ways to meal prep. The cool thing about that is you also can save a lot of money with doing that. But it's just an option as well. That's just what I did during some points of my freshman year. If I had the time, I would just meal prep for the week, like for, not every single day, but just like when I thought I would need it as much as I thought I would need, considering I still did have my meal plan. So that's also another option. But there are tons of different healthy options as well at the restaurants here on campus. You just have to kind of be mindful and just ask about them.
So the next question is a little tech question. So about memory, how big of a hard drive do I need? Is Google or Cloud Drive okay? So I believe that I got it's like a 16 gigabyte or something hard drive that I still use it now. And then I use Google Cloud. I use my school email for everything, and it all saves on there. And so that's what I use a lot of the times. And then you can get like Word and Excel, those apps for free being a student. And I'm trying to think of anything else. Do y'all have any tips about that? Because I don't know much about it.
So it's going to depend on your major. I used to be a graphic design major, and for those, they have like a lot of computers in the computer labs and stuff with Photoshop. But if you are living off campus, or if you don't want to walk to the computer lab in the middle of the night, if you're like working on a project really late, it can be good to get that on your computer, and that can take up some space. So I ended up getting one of those big hard drives, and I don't remember how many gigabytes or terabytes it was or anything, but I got it on Amazon for like $50, and that really saved my life. It was something else I had to like carry around with me, but it isn't very big and it wasn't very heavy. So it is going to depend on your major, but I think like the architecture and graphic design are really the only majors that are probably going to you'll need to install extra stuff on your computer. So if you're not one of those majors, I can't imagine besides Word and Excel and PowerPoint and stuff like that you'll need anything much more.
So the next question from Jonathan is, how was your first day as a freshman? Which I love that question too. For me, I remember when I walked onto campus, and first of all, I'm pretty sure I was late to my first class, and because I got lost, and so that I started off on a good note. But I remember I was just feeling really just excited, and I was nervous because it's a new experience and you don't really know many people. It's not familiar. It's scary. But I was just really excited, and I remember I made a promise to myself that I was going to just become who I'm supposed to be. And that sounds really cheesy, but now is the time to be who you want to be. And because you may not know many people, not many people know you. And so you can be exactly who you want to be, So walking around on campus, I was like, I'm going to be this just fun, outgoing, meet people, talk to people, push fear out the window. Let's go. That was my attitude of it, because if I didn't do that, then I was probably going to kind of go into my shell and be nervous. So that's my experience. What about y'all two?
Okay, so my freshman year, I didn't know anybody coming to Chattanooga, and so I was pretty nervous for my first day, which it is interesting, like, being in college, you have, like, multiple first days because you have a first day for some of your classes, and then the next day you're gonna have classes that you haven't been to yet. So, I do remember I did get lost, like Jenna said, and the professors, like, on your first day, especially as a freshman, they're pretty understanding. I remember even my junior year, I walked into there was construction on campus, and the route I normally would take, like, got completely confused, and I walked in 10 minutes late, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, I was lost." And it was a small class, but everyone was just sitting there staring, and they laughed. The professors are all really friendly, so they're not going to be too hard on you for that. But I definitely recommend, like, when you move in, maybe take a walk on campus and pull out your schedule and download the campus map onto your phone, and take a look at where those classes are going to be, just so your first day you're not completely stressed out. Besides that, it was kind of an adrenaline rush. I was really excited. I think I was texting my mom 24/7, telling her all about my professors and stuff. But it's a lot easier than you're going to think it will be. So don't be too scared because everybody is new. Everybody's coming in. So it won't be as bad as you think.
I was super nervous because, like I said, where I'm from is super small. So like UTC's campus is like probably just about as many people as there is in my hometown. So I was like super nervous, but also super excited because I knew coming to college, I wanted to grow. I wanted to put myself in situations where I know that I will grow from them. So I know my first day, whenever I walked into my class, I'm pretty sure I actually was late as well. I had walked into the wrong classroom. Something of that nature had happened. And I remember when I walked in, like everybody just turned around and I was just red. But like the professor was literally like right after class went up, I was like, "I'm so sorry." She was so understanding. So like they said, the professors are understanding. But yeah, definitely kind of printing out your schedule and just taking like a walk on campus with your best friend before you come. Just that way you have an idea of where you're going. I mean, I'm a tour guide for UTC and there's still some times where I'm like, okay, where am I? So like, it's okay. Like it happens. It really does. But yeah, don't be nervous. It's super, 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 it's a super exciting time. So.
Yes, we are so excited for you guys. I know that it's different. It's very, very different than you probably were expecting. And we all wish that it would be normal, but we're going to make the best of it. And it's going to be as great as you make it. So just come in with a great attitude or as best as you can and just get ready to kill it because I know all of you guys will. So the next question is, Hannah, are you allowed to eat in the classroom? And that definitely depends on the professor. I know a lot of mine as the year went on, especially ones that are either early in the morning or around lunchtime or even dinner time, I always brought a snack with me and I just kind of munched on it. Normally, I mean, all my professors didn't really mind. Some of them even asked for some of it. So just, it depends on your professor. But if in the beginning they say, because I know like labs, you probably wouldn't be able to eat. Maybe if you're around technology, you may not be. Just be aware of what your professor asks and just go with that. Do either of you guys have anything to add with that? No? Alrighty. Okay, so the next one, the fun one, with the COVID going on, how will freshman studies go? So it is very different, as I said, and it will just depend on your classes, whether they're in person or if they're online. We're all in the same boat, honestly. I have half and half in person, half online. So we're all going to be learning together. But it's just going to be, you just have to talk with your professors and really listen to them because they're learning how to do this with us as well. So just be mindful of that, and it just depends on how you work. So if you still want to go to the library and sit down on your computer and do your Zoom classes there, do it. If you want to sit at home, you can do that. And then when you're in person, really take advantage of those in-person moments. And because they may be few and far between, you never know. But do either of you guys have any tips on that or anything to add?
Yeah, so like Jenna said, I think she pointed out a good thing. Make sure you make the most of those in-person things because they might be a little few this semester at least. Definitely wear your mask. Don't spread the virus on campus because that would not be good. But I do want to say when everything switched in the spring to online, the professors were extremely flexible and it is all new for them. So we have to bear with them just as much as they're bearing with us. But plenty of them were available to do one-on-one Zooms to help you study, to answer any additional questions that you didn't want to ask, like in a group Zoom, all of that sort of thing. They were there to edit papers for you. So I know that things are going to be very different this semester, but I do want to reassure y'all that the professors were extremely, extremely adaptable last semester.
Just definitely my piece of advice was do not be afraid to reach out to your professors. That is going to be, your professors are going to be your best friends during the class. Get to know them. But again, during this time, do not be afraid to reach out because if you are confused on something, they want you to reach out. They're not going to exactly be able to read your mind, but, do not be afraid to just like reach out and be like, hey, I'm having this issue. I'm having, this problem studying with this chapter, and they are going to help you. Again, they're going to be flexible. We're going to have to, have the best attitude that we can have about it as well as them, but they want to work with us. They want us to succeed in the classroom. So just definitely do not be afraid to reach out to them if you're having any issues whatsoever. And honestly, just reach out to get to know them. They want to get to know you, especially like during this time. So.
Absolutely. So we have a little less than 10 minutes left and we have quite a few more questions to get through. So we're going to kind of rapid fire this. So the next question is it difficult to obtain a job on campus? It isn't really hard. Just look on there's work study and then so many offices have availability. So just look on websites, talk to people in the library, they can help you out. Do either of you guys have anything to add about that?
For me, I literally ran into a woman that was the head of an office and asked for an assistant, and that's how I got my job. So like Jenna said, a lot of those offices need help, and so feel free to walk in there and ask if they need any help, and they might be able to put you on the payroll. So
Yeah, again, just don't be afraid to go and ask. The biggest employer of campuses on jobs for students is going to be the ARC. There's tons of different things in there you can do. You can literally do a job from being a lifeguard to working downstairs to controlling the aux for the music. So if you have a good taste in music, they're going to have a job for you. So definitely keep the ARC in the back of your mind because that is the biggest employer for on-campus students. So
the next question is, do you have weekends? Like, do you have to work and catch up on classwork and whatnot? So for me, I do, just because I made it a point to give myself the space on the weekends to have that self-care time, spend time with my friends, and really focus on my studies Monday through Friday. That took me a while to get to that point, because freshman year I was worrying about school and wanting to do homework on the weekends. But it's all about getting that balance. So just work really hard at balancing it well and give yourself the weekend. But I mean, you may have a lot of work, so it varies from week to week. So the next question is, how many hours do you recommend to take the first semester of your freshman year? They really push 15 hours to finish. So that is what I say. I did 16 hours, I do believe. I've stayed about at that for the past couple semesters. And it's not too heavy. That's 4 classes. And it's not too big of a workload. So do either of you guys have anything to add about that? Okay.
I think if you end up being able to handle more, it might be an advantage in the long run. You might be able to take 12 hours in the future, but like Jenna said, 15 is normally what they say to stay steady at in order to finish on time. But if that's too much for you, you can always take summer classes as well.
The next question is, with COVID being an issue, is the campus gym open or the rec center? Do either of you guys know more about that?
I believe that the like aquatic center side of it is open right now. That is what I believe. That they've opened like the hot tub and like that area, but the gym area within itself is not open yet. I want to say they might have pushed the date back just a little bit until school starts. But I do believe that they have every like idea of having it open whenever the students do return to campus. Of course, you know, they just have to be, they have to follow the CDC guidelines and just make sure that that's intact. So they're really taking their time and preparing it. So that way, hopefully, whenever it does open, it won't have to, you know, be closed again. So, but again, you can just go on their website or their Instagram, and they have updates regularly that you can figure that out for. So.
Yes, and Elena just tagged the link at the bottom, so check that out for more information. Then the next question is, did you bring a car your freshman year? I did not have my car, and I loved it. It was great. I took the bus if I needed to get somewhere quickly, or I made friends that had cars, and so we would go to Walmart together or go out downtown. But it honestly saved me money, and it saved me the stress of having to find parking. And so I'm happy I didn't have one. I have one now because I live off campus. But what about you two? Did y'all have a car?
I had my car freshman year, and I didn't use it much during the week, just because since I was living on campus, I could just walk to class. It was nice on the weekends. I didn't have to like rely on anyone if I wanted to go to dinner with friends or anything like that. But there were plenty of people that didn't have cars and that would just tag along to Walmart to get groceries with friends and that sort of thing. I will send the campus shuttle link below, but they do actually have like a route around campus, and then I believe to Hamilton Place Mall possibly, and then Walmart as well. So
Yeah, I had my car as well. I worked my freshman year off campus, so I kind of had to have my car. And again, it was nice having it, not necessarily having to rely on anyone. But if I hadn't worked off campus and I was working on campus my freshman year, I definitely probably wouldn't have brought my car, just because, like Jenna said, it's super easy to just make friends, not have to worry about parking. But it's really all just up to you and your situation and your circumstances. Either way, though, it's completely fine. There's tons of options with transportation here that UTC offers. That way, if you don't have your car your freshman year, you'll still be fine getting around. So
the next question is, are there a lot of parties? And we have so much going on campus that it's honestly, it's a great energy on the campus. Like the first week we have, and it's going to look a little different, but there's still going to be activities to do on campus, like during welcome week. There'll be homecoming. There are a lot of parties with all the students just on Chamberlain Field and just hanging out with one another in the library. And you will just make friends as you go through, and you'll find where you like to hang out and what you like to do, and find people who you like to do those things with. So just check out the UTC Instagram, your email, and you'll be getting invitations to all the different just activities going on campus, because there's always something that you can do. And there's free t-shirts, free food. Look out for those, because that is the best. You'll get a lot of t-shirts your first year. So get ready for that. It's a very fun time. So I do believe that is all of the questions that we have. And Mallory from the Mocs 1 Center has put in a little bit information about the Mocs 1 Center. And it is the best resource for you if you have any quick questions about financial aid or any like transcript or enrollment questions. They are located on the first floor of the University Center, and you can just quickly pop in, ask your question, and get the help you need. And if they can't help you, then they can send you to where you need to go. So really utilize them, because I've been there so many times with what I feel is the dumb questions, but they accept me and they answer them, and they help me out so much. So really check them out and utilize them. But I do believe that is all of our time. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. Check out the UTC New Mocs Instagram, reach out to us on there, and we can answer more questions if you have them. But we are so excited that you guys chose to come to UTC. I know it's different, I know it's scary, but it really will be the best 4 years of your life. I'm sad that this is my last one. But yeah, reach out to us. And do you guys have any last words to say?
I just want to thank all of y'all for being on here. And like Jenna said, it will be different this year, but we are just so thankful that y'all chose UTC. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Like we said earlier, don't be afraid to reach out to the UTC New Mocs Instagram with more questions, or find us on social media. We were in your shoes, so we've been there before, and we're here for y'all.
Yeah, I just want to say again, thank you guys for being here. I know this year is going to look different, but again, we're literally just here for you guys in every way that we can be. So literally, if you need anything, I mean, literally, if you get to campus and you just need to know where a building is, find us on social media, reach out to somebody. We definitely are here for y'all. And again, we're super excited for y'all to be here in August, and go Mocs.
Mocs, thank you guys. And if you want to save the chat, hit those 3 little buttons and you will have all the information. And I hope you guys I hope you guys join us for the rest of the live chats throughout the day. There's a lot of great information. So really, really take advantage of that, because this is the time to do it. But y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the fall.